Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Tech Planners and Plot Twists, starting in my 50s. My name is Rachel, and today I decided that I was going to do something a little bit different. I know my channel has been kind of a mix of introducing Pofi, who is that little AI robot that I am a beta for, but my true love, or my real love, is in writing and in planning. But I also really like art, and I love art supplies. So I have my Hobonichi cousin, and I decided that what I wanted to do is I wanted to try and show you all, if you're not familiar with it, how the paper takes water and how you can use different watercolor techniques on the paper. Now, I am not a professional artist. I took art classes when I was in high school, and I absolutely loved them, but that's really as far as I've ever gotten. So just kind of take that as you will. For this, I just do art for fun. This is just for enjoyment and for my soul. And I've been doing art ever since I was a kid. So for today, I brought out some of my favorite watercolor soluble pencils. They're called the Derwent Inktense pencils. And then you can see that I also have one of those water brushes. This is something that we didn't have when I was in high school, that's for sure. And now that I've been able to use it, I really like it. I think it makes applying water to your colors, or even applying just regular watercolors, a lot easier. And it's a lot more portable because you can just take it with a cap on and you can do watercolor from pretty much anywhere. Now, the pencils that I'm using, again, these are the Derwent Inktense. So these pencils are made in Britain, and it says they are an innovative formulation that acts like ink, delivering instantly vibrant colors that dry permanently and do not wash out for exceptional layering. So the really nice thing about this is, where other watercolors, once you lay down the color and then you put water on it, you get the true watercolor. But then if you go back with water, you reactivate that color. And so if you started with a blue and then you went in, with a red, then your blue might come up, mix with the red, and you'd end up with a purple rather than having the separate two colors. So these, because they dry as a permanent ink, they don't come up. And so you'll see how they're a little bit different. So what I had done is I found what I considered to be a really cute picture. It's a picture of a dog, and I just sketched it in using a pencil. So this is just me kind of doing a quick sketch off of a photograph that I had found. And then what I was doing is going back through, and for this picture, I really only used two different colors. I found the black, and it's just kind of a basic black color, as well as I had a blue color that I added. So those are the two colors that I use primarily on here. But as you can see, my set has a lot of colors, so I am very spoiled, frankly. So what I like to do first is I like to lay down the color, and I'm just kind of shading as I would, with any kind of regular pencil, or regular colored pencil, lead pencil or colored pencil. And then after I've finished laying down that color, then I go back in with water, and that will activate the color and turn it more into, like I said, a watercolor look, but it is ink. And then I can go back, with my color again, and I can add more depth. So whenever I add the water, you can see how much more intense the color is and how dark it came out. Like I said, this is just a black. I think they use it a lot for outlining or for basic things, but it works like any other watercolor, and that the more water that you add, the less pigment that you have. So I like to go over first. I like to start with light and then gradually shade into darks with layering. And these Inktense pencils are perfect for that layering. And I wanted to do just some different variations of that gray. I think on my next one, I'm going to try and show a few more of the different colors because this set has a lot of different colors. If you're interested in looking at swatches for it, I haven't made any videos, but there are lots of videos out there that are available. You can see the swatches on all of the different colors that Inktense, that Derwent makes in the Inktense pictures, pencils. But as I said, I do like to do watercolor. It's something that I didn't do a whole lot when I was younger, but now I really enjoy it a little bit more. And when I do something like that in my cousin, you know, sometimes I'll just do it as some background. I might do it just as some focal pieces. I also might draw or watercolor in something that has to do with the subject of my memory for the day. So like I said, I use this in memory keeping. So like, you know, if that day is a day that I might have been out playing with my dogs, you know, then I might color my dog, which is kind of funny because when I finished with this, I actually thought that it ended up looking like my dog that I have. So, you know, his name is Winston. He is a mixed breed of a golden retriever and a black lab. And then he had a little bit of some unknown in with him. And I adopted him as a puppy right at COVID. And if you all are familiar with the COVID dogs, you know, there was a lot of us that ended up getting dogs, but we really weren't able to take them out and get them appropriately socialized. So Winston, although he is really sweet and he just has that golden retriever personality, he's also a little bit of a mess. And he's not necessarily the best on leash. So I think maybe this summer, doing a little bit more training with Winston would be really nice. We do call him Winnie. And he is very cute. He's just such a good boy. I don't know if you all are animal people. In my little household, I have probably too many animals. I have 2 dogs, and then I have 1 parrot, and then I have 2 cockatiels. And so I have a lot of birds, and then we have chickens out back that lay eggs for us. But of course, we've named them all. So they're always going to be egg-laying chickens. They're never going to end up on our table. I just can't do that. Once I name them, there's no way I can eat them. But it is kind of funny. So when I'm doing my drawing with these, I do like to go back and forth, but there are a couple different things you can do. If there's some water already laid on the paper, so if the paper is slightly damp and you put the pencil on it, it will come out very dark. So you can get some very good definition if you do it that way. If you do it as I'm doing right here and it's dry, then it just colors on just like any other colored pencil. Now, it's not the same feel as like a Prismacolor. If you're familiar with those, Prismacolors have a very smooth, silky, almost a waxy feel to them. I do love a good Prismacolor too, and I think for blending, they are some of the best. But of course, they're not water soluble. Whereas this one, it doesn't go on as creamy or as smooth. It's a little bit rougher. It still is blendable. Probably not as well as like your Prismacolors, but it also has the advantage of turning into the ink. So I do like that. So I tried to add in a little bit of the blue. I just thought that would be kind of nice because the dog's coat is black. And I wanted a little bit of another color. I think if I were to do it again, as I said, I think I'd use more colors than just this. but I enjoy this. I don't know if there's a lot of you all that are like me, we would really like to do more art and make more time for that. I really enjoy doing art. It's very soothing. It's not always perfect, and like this one, obviously it didn't turn out perfect. I'll show you the finished version when I get done. But nothing is perfect. So it's just kind of something that I like. Okay, so I put this on double time so you don't have to hear me go on and on. But you'll see, as I do this, I'm just trying to finish out the body for the dog, and then adding water as I go. And then what I'll do, and once I finish, is I'll try to do some layering. So I'll add some things on the pages, and then I'll probably make sure that there's some room for me to write some notes, things like that. I like, my Hobonichi to be fun, but somewhat functional. Although, sometimes I just think that they're nice just to have them pretty so you can look back. I have used Hobonichis for years. I've probably got 5 or 6 different cousins that I've used over the years. And I've also used some of the smaller ones, which are the Tecos. They're an A6 size. I've also used those. I really like the paper that comes with these. As you can tell, or you'll see as we go, the water, when applied to this paper, it doesn't break it down at all, but it makes it crinkly. And some people cannot stand that, but I love it. I love that crinkly feel. The paper kind of reminds me of Bible paper, if you're familiar with that. But it really takes all of the watercolors well. It takes markers well. It doesn't bleed through too much. It does have some shadowing that you'll see on the back of the paper sometimes. But it even will take fountain pens, which is another thing that I really like and have a couple. I haven't pulled them out yet. I plan on doing that this summer. So if you are a fountain pen person, let me know, because I'll get out my fountain pens and we can kind of look at them. I've also gotten different inks for the fountain pens. Some of them that have the sheen or the glitter to them. Ah, they're so pretty. So as I worked on this, I kind of went back and forth, and I couldn't decide if I did like that or not. But I went ahead and put the scissors down just to hold it a little flat. I'm going to let it dry a little bit. Okay, so here is my finished spread. I finished up with my dog. So, he turned out okay. I could use a little bit more practice, I think. I also added a sticky note that had some grocery list from my mom, and I added a few little pieces of ephemera, and then I did a sketch of another dog on the other side, and that is a black lab. And I also used the same Derwent pencils for that. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. I'll probably add some notes and things to this page. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel and come back. I'm going to be trying different things with my cousin, as well as some more art. Thanks.